In this video, I will discuss few concepts related to the topic matter in our surroundings. If you see the name of the topic, the topic itself says that like matter in our surroundings. So first of all, before entering into the main concepts, we will learn what is meant by a matter. So if you look at our surroundings, whatever, whether it is living or non-living thing, everything will occupy space and it will have some mass. This is what exactly the definition of matter is. So the definition of matter itself is everything, whether it is living or non-living thing, which has space and occupies mass is known as matter. So if we look at the surroundings, everything, whether it is a small object or big object, it will occupy space and it is having mass. So we can say that everything in our surroundings is a matter. Here a example, if we take the air we breathe is a matter, the water which we drink, and if we see here plant, it is occupying space and it is having some mass. So we can say that plant is a matter. And everyone, we are not able to see the air, so we will have a doubt, how can we say that air is a matter? So in order to say that air is a matter, we can verify it by taking the example of a inflated balloon. So if you take an inflated balloon, the space it occupies and the mass it is having is very less before the air is pumped into it. After the air is pumped into it, the space which it occupies will be increased and the mass also is increased. The increase in the mass and the space it occupies is due to the presence of the air. So from this we can say that air is occupying space and it is having a mass. So we can say that air is a matter. So next we will see the classification of matter. If you see the classification of matter, it is classified based on their physical properties and chemical nature. So based on the physical properties, matter is classified into solids, liquids and gases, and similarly based on the chemical properties, it is classified into elements and compounds. In this present topic, we will look into the physical classification of the matter. So first of all, we will see the physical nature of matter. The first point in the physical nature of matter is made up of particles. That is, matter is made up of the particles. So in order to say that matter is made up of particles, we can perform a simple activity in our home. For example, take a little amount of water in a beaker and mark the level of the water. After that, add a crystal of salt or sugar to that. Then if you observe the level of the water, after that salt or sugar gets dissolved in it, you will observe that the level of the water will not rise. It will be same as before the sugar was added. This means that the sugar or salt which we are adding will break up into the particles and it will get dissolved into it. So this will show that matter is made up of particles. Next is the particles of matter are very small. So in order to do this, we can perform a simple activity. Take KMnO4. So if you take KMnO4, that is potassium permanganate, everyone will knows that it is of green color. So when we add it to the 100 ml of water, the color of the water will change. Now from that 100 ml of colored water, take 10 ml of water and add this 10 ml of water to the 100 ml of water in another beaker, and again from this take 10 ml of colored water and again take another beaker and add this into the 100 ml of water of third beaker. Now again take fourth beaker and add 10 ml from third beaker into this fourth beaker containing 100 ml of water. You will observe that in every beaker color change will be there. What this implies is, even if we are taking a little amount of water, there is a color change. So this will say that the particles of matter are very small. Next is characteristics of particles of matter. So we have, from the physical nature, we came to know that matter is made up of particles, and particles that are present in the matter are very small. So we will see now what are the characteristics of the particles of matter. So first is particles of matter have space between them. That is, the particles which are present in the matter have spaces between them. In order to do this, we say again same activity we will repeat. Like take a beaker, we having water, and note down the level of the water. Again add some sugar or salt into it. Again you will notice that after it gets dissolved, the level of the water will be same. What this implies is the water the water is a matter. So the particles of water is having spaces between them, so that the sugar is getting penetrated into the spaces, into these spaces. That means into particles of matter have space between them. Again, if we see, particles of matter are continuously moving. That is, the particles which are present in the matter are not static or are not moving, they are continuously moving. So in order to say that they are continuously moving, first we will take a beaker having some amount of water, and again we will add some amount of ink to that. So you can see here, when we have added ink to that, it is like it has occupied some portion only, but after some time, if we see, that whole the ink will be spreaded to the whole water and the whole color will be changed. So from this we can say that particles of matter are continuously moving. How we can say that? When we have added, it has occupied a little bit space. If it is not moving, it will be same like that after a few hours or after a few minutes also. But what we are observing is, after a few time, we are observing that the ink is getting dispersed throughout the whole water. So from this we can say that particles of matter are continuously moving. Next is particles of matter attract each other. So that means the particles which are present in the matter attract each other. For this we can say that here one activity is demonstrated. Otherwise we can say, like bar magnet, we can see that they are, when they move when they come closer to each other, they will attract each other. It is also a matter. So we can say that even if we break down the bar magnet, so first of all, if we say that bar magnet is a matter, if we break that down into the particles, even the small pieces of that will attract the iron containing materials. So from this we can say that particles of matter attract each other. Next is states of matter. So what are the different states in which matter is present? That means we are saying that everything in our surroundings is matter, but the state, that means if we say water, it is not, it is a liquid. But if we say like stool or bucket, anything, it is of the form solid. And if we see LPG, which we use in our households, it is of gas form. So matter, whatever it is, it will be categorized into three states. They are solid, liquid and gas. These three states are result of the variation in the characteristics of the particles of matter. That is, from characteristics of particles of matter, we have seen that particles have spaces between them, they are continuously moving, and they attract each other. Due to the variation in these characteristics of the particles of matter, we are getting different states for matter. So now if we see first state, that is solid state. In the solid state, particles of matter, we have seen in the characteristics of particles of matter that particles of matter have spaces between them. So in the solid state, the spaces which the particles of matter are having is very very less. That is, the particles are very very close, and solids have a definite shape. That means they will have a closed arrangement. Due to this, they will have a definite shape. So a definite shape means, how we can say is, take a pen and draw a boundary to that. If you take a pen, it will have a definite shape. You cannot break that or something. Even if you break that, the shape will not be deformed. Again, the next thing is, solids have distinct boundaries and fixed volume. So in order to say that solids have distinct boundaries, that is, the boundaries of the solids will not change, and the volume which they will occupy will also be not change. So to say that they have distinct boundaries, take a pen and draw the boundary over it, then again remove the pen and again draw the boundary. These two boundaries will exactly match each other. So from this we can say that they have distinct boundaries. Solids are rigid. That is, solids are rigid means we cannot, if we take rubber or something, we can deform them. Solids are rigid, like we cannot change the dimensions of the solid. We can break them, but we cannot change the shape or something of the solid. So next is example of solid. If you look at the pen, this is having a definite shape, this is having a distinct boundary and fixed volume, and this is a rigid. So we can say that pen is a solid. Again, the question is rubber band a solid? Now if we take the rubber band, its shape is getting deformed when a force is applied, but when it is regaining its shape when the force is removed, that means it is having a fixed shape, its shape is not varying. So we can say that rubber band is a solid. Next is the liquid state. In liquid state, what we will observe is, in solid state the distance between the particles of matter is very very less, but in liquid state it will be higher than the the space of between the particles of matter is a little bit higher than the solid state. And liquids have no fixed shape, but they have a fixed volume. That is, the liquids they won't have a fixed shape like as the solids which we see. So in order to say that they don't have a fixed shape, you take a 1 liter of water, keep it in the bottle. When we have kept it in the bottle, it will gain the shape of the bottle. But again, when we keep the water in the mug or bucket, it will gain the shape of the bucket. So from this, it is having different shapes. So if we observe, it is having different shapes based on the container in which they are kept. So we can say that they are not having fixed shape, but they have a fixed volume. That is, the volume which they will occupy in every container will be same, that is 1 liter. So the shape is different and they have a fixed volume, and they are not rigid as in the case of solids. And the rate of diffusion of liquids is higher than that of the solids. So if we dissolve salt or sugar in water, water is a liquid, so it will get dissolved very fast. That is, the rate of diffusion of liquids is higher than that of the solids. So example, if we take for the liquid state, it is a water. It is the best example for the liquid state. So here you can see that when water is kept in bottle, it is gaining the shape of the bottle. When it is kept in the mug, it is gaining the shape of the mug. So it is having different shapes but a fixed volume. Next is the gaseous state. So in gaseous state, what we will observe is like particles of matter are for each other. That is, the space between the particles of the matter is very more. So, and that is their spread. If we take gases, the spaces between them is very high, and because of these large forces, they will be in random motion, the particles of the gases, and they will hit each other, and they will hit the walls of the container. When they hit the walls of the container, force will be there, and this force per unit area is known as the pressure of the gas. And if you see the gases, they won't have any fixed volume and they won't have any fixed shape. So if you take some amount of gas, you will observe that if you release the gas into some area, it will be spreaded throughout that area. Whether if it is released into 1 liter or one into beaker containing 1 liter, it will be spreaded in that. If we released it into the open room, it will be spreaded throughout the air. So we can say that it is not having fixed volume and as well as fixed shape also. And as we all know, they are not rigid. So example of the gaseous state is water vapor, steam, helium, CO2, everything, the LPG which we use to cook food in our houses, everything comes and they are the gases. Now the summary is the difference between solid, liquid and gas. Here you can see in the solid state, the particles of matter are closely packed. That is, the spaces between them is very negligible. But if we see liquid, we can observe the gaps between them. Even though they are very little, we can observe them. But in case of gases, the spaces are very high. So this is the basic difference between solid, liquid and gas. Here you can see solids are rigid and they are having fixed shape and fixed volume, but liquids, they are not rigid, they don't have any fixed shape, and they have fixed volume, sorry. And gases, if we take, they are not rigid, they are not having fixed shape, and they are not having fixed volume also. So this is all about the physical characteristics of matter, characteristics of the particles of matter, and the different states of matter that exist in our in the surrounding. So I hope you all understood this thing. So thank you for watching.